What's going on, guys? I hope you are doing well this evening. It is 6:35 p.m. Central Standard Time where I at. I just wanted to cover a little bit about Bitcoin today. I could probably get into the other charts, but I've been kind of going hard on Bitcoin as of late, so I kind of wanted to start with it first. Okay, so I'm going to get into the 1 hour time frame because it's more intraday at this point. So the FOMC meeting apparently was today, and volatility was a factor in regards to current price action. So I've been keeping some notes in regards to this triangle pattern. It did break to the upside, but as soon as the meeting ended, we ended up breaking down to the downside. Now, essentially my thesis, from my perspective, I mean, not to brag, but was correct. Ultimately, we did break out of this ascending broadening wedge, and we are currently realizing a downward trend in the making. We were going sideways for some time. We were kind of pitter-pattering around this red line, which I'm about to turn yellow right here. We were pitter-pattering around here because it was a key level of resistance. Now, this area was also pretty dangerous for me, because if you zoom out, I'm gonna dot these lines real quick so when I zoom out it'll make a little bit more sense as to what is what here. Alright, so we got the 4. Okay, yeah, these are a little too big. Let me make it to the 3 pixels. Okay, let me go to, let's say, the 12 hour. That'll help out. So essentially, I've been saying this for months now, we never back tested this area as true resistance. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a 4 hour. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this area. Oh my god, what happened? What happened? Jeepers. There it is. Okay, sorry about that. I like to do my candle closes and such at the 4 hour time frame. Okay, that's pretty good right there. And then let's see here. How come that looks slanted? What's up with that? Is that just me? Hold on, that's weird. There you go. Oh, I guess that's just me then. So I'm just sitting crookedly. Alright, okay, sorry about that. Alright, so now that we have that situated, you come all the way back over here. And guess what? Price was getting stopped around here. And yeah, that's another reason as to why I was not necessarily confident in the price moving to the upside. Now, I did like, I'm going back to the 1 hour, I did like that we had this bullish engulfing candle, but I don't trust these moves until we see a back test. And when price tried to back test this line of support, this particular line of support, it failed. We had a bearish engulfing candle and a lower low from the previous local high at that time from an intraday perspective. So that was a key indicator, breaking back. So when you break out of a pattern and then break back into it, that is usually very, very powerful to the new trend. So as you can see, we had bearish engulfing candles back to back, and we can make an argument that we're making a little bit of a bear flag at this time. Let me go here. So money flow, interestingly enough, is still in the blue. All right, so in my world, that is still bullish. But at the same time, if you zoom out, the money flow is starting to dissipate from blue, and it's not even red yet. So I do feel eventually we are going to kind of peter-patter, going to go sideways and down from here on out, and hopefully hit these lower levels that I had spoken about. Now, from my perspective, I am a long-term hodler, so any cheaper prices I welcome with open arms. All right, like Phil Collins, that Phil Collins song. Anywho, overall, I do feel that until we break back above 28.6, I can't be bullish at all. I'm pretty much considering this yellow line as resistance. The triangle pattern is broken, so now there's a lot of lines converging right around this area. So I would suspect that basically 28K has been flipped as resistance. So until I see otherwise, I cannot even consider that. And one of my bear cases was this Head and Shoulders that I thought was going to be coming through the pipeline here. So we still kind of have that in play. So on the 1 hour time frame, we have this shoulder top right here. I'm going to change it. I'm going to turn it into a different color so you can see it, and I'm going to make it dotted. There you go. So from my perspective, this is a shoulder. We got somewhat of a pretty big head, or you can even argue that this is the head. And I'm waiting for that other shoulder, roughly around here. So I'm waiting for that to come to fruition. If that is in fact a dead cat bounce, I would consider this area kind of uh, a reason to kind of just wait for the divergences to play out, kind of like something that happened here. So let me just put a line where that sell signal came about, right there, right there. So when this sell signal came about, that was terrible. So I'm going to be waiting for another one of these. If we end up doing a lower high, like I suspect, and a bearish divergence, then I would definitely open up a fresh short, and that's all she wrote. That go from there. So you know, um, yeah, I'm like everyone else. I want to see prices go to the moon 24/7. Um, but that's just not the reality of how markets work. We were pretty exuberant. I mean, for Bitcoin to rally 30%, uncontested is phenomenal. But at the same time, this is a volatile market. Um, a lot of my indicators have been pointing to the downside. Now, we do have a new high as opposed to the previous highs. So actually, these green lines are somewhat invalidated because those aren't the true local tops. So I'm actually going to do a Fibonacci extension and try to find out where are these true tops. And so I'm going to get that over here. And right there. Boom, right there. So the 618 now is actually right around here. And the 382 is right around here. All right, so now we could expect a bounce at 25.3 or basically 23Ks. So that's my thesis at this time. Right now, the 786 is acting as somewhat of a support, but like I had said prior, I do feel that we are going to be bouncing sideways and down. So, basically, I'm expecting 28K to get flipped as resistance pretty much, and eventually I would expect the 786 to give out and eventually go to the 618. From there, we can either print. Oh, I'm so sorry, my Spotify popped up out of nowhere. We could either print a dead cat bounce right here, uh, basically confirm the 786 as resistance and then come down even lower, or we could just flat out, pivot and break and just rip to the upside. But excuse me, in all honesty, I am expecting lower prices from here. All right, so that is Bitcoin, pretty much the leader of the entire crypto market. So pretty much the thesis is pretty strong there for everything else. There are very, very few anomalies in that regard. So yeah. All right. So this is Solana. Why did I put Solana? I wanted to do the S&P 500 because I haven't talked about it in a couple days. Alright, so we have gotten that rally to the upside that I was kind of hoping. We didn't actually get to the top side right here that I was hoping for, but we have been rallying up to the upside. There was a gap. I am a believer of gap theory. Eventually these gaps do get filled, which, as of today got filled. So that's good. If we can ratchet up price and continue moving to the upside, I could expect that within the coming weeks, maybe up until April. But overall, this pattern structure is still valid. The descending broadening wedge, which are predominantly bullish, is here. Now, if you zoom in, actually, say on the 1 hour here, 1 hour, 4 hour. I'm gonna go with 4 hour here. Yeah. We are kind of developing somewhat of a rising channel, which I don't like. Um, Rising channels are bearish in nature, and I think it's already broken out. So let me just get that your way here, and yeah, there it is. So actually, we're still in this channel. These unfortunately do break to the downside, so we could actually revisit either the 38.7 or even come back down to the 38.35. So I'm keeping notice on that. I'm actually going to keep this up and kind of keep my scope on all this, because these are bearish predominantly, so that's not good, especially because it's so close to support. I do not like seeing bearish structures so close to support. That is interesting. All right, so I'll leave it at that. I'm going to go to Ethereum and Bitcoin. So yeah, for the past, I don't even know how long anymore. It's been months. Pretty much, I kind of figured out that this was a pattern right around January, and since then, yeah, it's been kind of coming to fruition. This target I've been waiting for, we're ever so slowly getting closer and closer to it. So, I do intend for Ethereum to lose value versus Bitcoin, which is currently the case as it stands. Money flow is starting to get thicker into the red, and we are creating lower momentum waves than the previous wave, so lower lows usually, favor the bears. Okay, so that is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So realistically, like Bitcoin is more of the store of value at this time. Uh, oh yeah, I did want to give a shout out to Undead Blocks. I am an investor in their project, just a heads up, but I think they're a very interesting project. It's a play to earn zombie shooter game. So they have their own token, Undead token. Um, yeah, they also do mobile gaming as well, so you can play this game via your mobile phone or your desktop, and you can also use any controller. You can use an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller. Yeah, I do have 3 packs, and oh, what I love about projects is if they're doxed, right? So like if they actually kind of show who they are, that's even much more better, because usually people who dox themselves, they don't like to play games because their name is on the line and all that kind of stuff. So that's another key factor. You can download it on your desktop, or you can play it like on your browser. Yeah, I do have 3 weapons packs that I have included in the description below. If you go to that Blue Mint uh, link, you can actually click on that link, and then you can actually rent out those packs to play for free. So in order to play this game, you have to have a pack, and it is a play to earn game, so you'll actually be earning actual in-game tokens, and then you can redeem them for weapons, coffins, all that kind of stuff, skins, and then you can actually even trade them for Ethereum. And it's on the Immutable X platform, so it's very, very cheap gas. So it's super user friendly. Investors from like Animoca Brands, uh, they're a huge hedge fund that has gotten a lot of winners in the Web3 space, and they invested into them. So it's a very reputable, in my opinion, game right now. And their beta is live, and you can actually play it. Right now, there's only 1 level at this time, but the play to earn functionality is there. So I just wanted to give them a shout out, and yeah, please feel free to use my packs. And yeah, there's a 50-50 profit split. So whatever you earn, I get a little bit of half. I need to make my investment back, okay? But after that, I'm definitely willing to reduce the percentage more in favor of the actual player. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to close that out. I just kind of wanted to give them a shout out. They've been doing really well. And yeah, I'm just a proud actual player and user of their platform. Anywho, wow, Litecoin is looking really good. All right, so I haven't talked about Litecoin versus BTC in a long time. Pretty much once we broke this area, this was a bearish triangle pattern right here, and since then it's broken down. It hasn't back tested this area as resistance, so I would expect Litecoin to rip a little bit versus Bitcoin, but I want to see what happens around here. If we can actually regain those levels, then I would expect Litecoin to be that much more of a better asset versus Bitcoin than say just Bitcoin, because right now Bitcoin's outperforming everything except for a few anomalies like Litecoin. Litecoin's doing well. Like look at everything here. Very few green. Okay. I mean, Hex is doing crazy. 38%. Are you kidding me? Oh wow, Hex. Go Hex, go. All right. That's crazy. Hex is a little bit too volatile for me. I don't like to TA that stuff. It's too unpredictable in my opinion. All right. But I like this the more mid cap, large cap cryptos like coin. It's just a little bit more of a it's easier to read, if you will. But so far, so good. This pivot area, interestingly enough, is higher than the previous low. So if there is actual um, constructive uh, processes within this move, if it actually breaks above this red line, then I would actually confirm this as like a local bottom. And yeah, actually, funny enough, that would be considered a three rising valleys pattern. Three rising valleys patterns are actually very bullish, and usually they break to the upside pretty strong. So, huh, interesting. So, is this the time to be investing in Litecoin? I mean, for me, yes. I've been investing in Litecoin, um, but the chart's actually starting to like favor my thesis, so that's kind of nice. But anyway, I guess I'm going to go to Ethereum real quick. I will say this on Ethereum, it needed to hold 1,700 and 45 roughly in order to stay bullish. Unfortunately, we keep getting lower lows here. So we have a lower high and then a lower low and then a confirmation of rejection off of this previous support line. So I would have to argue that now we are in a bear structure here, and we're most likely going to be going lower into these areas. So I'm going to delete this line right here. I think, yeah, I had that because I thought this was the previous local high. That is no longer the case. So we're having like a retrace moment pretty much from here to here. So I'm going to do a Fibonacci extension pretty much to the local high, which is like around here, and come all the way down to the wick low. Boom, right there. So there is a lot of confluence down here at the 0.382, basically 1,550, and also the 618 is at 1,660. So those are the areas that I'm watching for potential bounce zones. We have lost the 786 as support, and I would eventually expect some form of back test of it as resistance. Yeah, that's my thesis regarding Ethereum. I'll just leave it at that with Ethereum. So let's go to Solana. Let's see what Solana's up to. All right, so we do have a rising channel coming out of it. It's actually holding for now, but given what I'm seeing here on the money flow on the 1 hour, we're losing the money flow from going positive, and we're now heading to the negative side. Now, the momentum is still pointing to the upside a little bit, but I favor money flow versus momentum. So we could see a little bit more of a bounce and then an eventual break, in my humble opinion. It's actually underperforming all the others assets, you know, because Ethereum was actually like somewhere up here at this stage, and Solana's kind of underperforming right here, which is not a bad thing. I mean, honestly, if you're late to parties, Solana is your asset because it's a little bit of a laggard at this time. Nothing to worry about though. I mean, we all have our different uh, chains that we choose and stuff. But long term, I think Solana does have a shot. I will say that. But yeah, in all honesty, I do see kind of like a head and shoulders pattern right here, like a mini one. It's pretty obvious if you zoom in. So as you got that shoulder, you got that head, you got that other shoulder right here, and you have the neckline pretty much right around here, bouncing off of it. Technically, so let me get that measured move for you. That measured move would be something like this. Okay, so let me turn that into a white stick. And boom. So if you see like a break, you're probably going to see, oh, and if the support area is broken, we're probably coming back down to $15. So that is something to keep in mind. You got to be very, very careful with that. But that's if this head and shoulders is confirmed. At this time, we are getting candle closes above, but also this is the 1 hour, so be careful with the 1 hour. On the 4 hour, we have confirmed a breakdown. Actually, we did get a bearish candle close, and yeah, it's fighting for its life. Probably like right around here. So yeah, we could maybe expect prices at 18.7 at the very least. If we were to do kind of like a mini Fibonacci retracement, it would look something like this. Let me just delete everything here. Let me delete the evidence. I'm just kidding. Right there. Okay. Oh wow, would you look at that, the 618. It's already at the 618. Okay. Interesting. Alright. So that's a nice little development right there. Well, I will say this. As long as we have a 4-hour candle closing above the 618, then I have no worries about the 382. But I will say this, the 382 is usually the area I like to look at for bounces. So, yeah, I'm looking at $19 as like my line in the sand here. Yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote regarding Solana. Now, it is in a rising channel, so rising channels are bearish. Just something to keep in mind. They usually do break to the downside. So if I were to actually classify this, the top side is pretty defined. So let me get that for you. Let me expand that, turn it red. Yeah, so we do have this kind of like rising wedge here. It can actually survive this, but ultimately these do tend to break to the downside. Just something to keep your eye on. These can break to the upside, but the probabilities are lower. Just a heads up. But all right, I'm going to leave it at that. I just want to say thank you so much for your time. If you're still here, I appreciate you so much. And yeah, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe with your friends. Also, yeah, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to add that in the description below. Also, yeah, if you are friends with me via Discord, feel free to just like DM me and ask me for like what coins you'd want me to analyze, or yeah, just feel free to stay in touch if you know you kind of want to talk more about the market. Anyway, take care. Have a great day. Bye bye.